Hey, welcome back everybody. I'm Jade Monkey. We're back here in Rust, and we are on the PC Rust right now doing the testing staging branch for the industrial update. Oh, look, it's the cargo ship. And what this means for all of us in the Rust community, the PC side over on the console side. Obviously, those of you on the console don't expect this anytime soon. I mean, it's on the so far distant horizon we can't even like speculate because it's not even done on PC yet. But we're going to be talking about the industrial update. Some of the different things that you can do with it, some of the different things that are awesome, some of the concerns that people have been having, and how it's shaping up so far. Because this is still on testing. There's still some major tweaks happening. Even stability has been an issue. I mean, shoot, we would have had this a lot earlier, but the weekend was quite unstable. The servers were crashing quite a bit. Or at least the client side was crashing. Anyway, so the industrial update, what does that mean? So already you can see the absolute chaos that is the industrial update. But there's a lot of really cool stuff happening here. And yes, a lot of stuff still needs some balance passes and stuff. But let's go ahead. I mean, other than all of these splitters that are on the floor here, you can have these very consolidated loot rooms where things are sorted and then inserted inside of these loot rooms. Very awesome. You can have more usable honeycomb. Things like the electric furnace, also new. You can take the materials, have it pass into the usable honeycomb, cook it, and then have it pass back out. There was an example here until somebody trolled it. Those are the standard furnaces here in the usable honeycomb, and the same idea. You pass it in, it cooks, you pass it back out, and you're still protected. Although these walls would be flipped, let's be real. Okay, so let's see what else. We've got all kinds of different things to sort, to monitor, to cook, to smelt. Here, let me show you something really nutty. This right here will cook sulfur and then pass it into a box and then it has overflow. And it does it at an alarming rate. And that's some of the concern because, you know, it's good for solos, but a lot of people are like, hey, what is this going to do for the big Zergs, the big groups, right? They're going to be able to absolutely decimate because they have more people. So with that, I think there's going to be some balance, but also, you know, there are different game modes for those types of things. But yeah, it's absolutely insane, like the stuff that's happening here. You can actually automatically craft things. We're going to go into another sample area and kind of show you. Sorry, some of these like pipes and stuff are a little broken from over the weekend. But yeah, pretty nutty, right? And obviously on the console side, as I said before, we're still just getting power and sorting that out. And we don't even have that on main branch. So don't expect this anytime soon. Although this does use kind of the same tenets. You know, different items being connected to each other. I mean, it's just pipes as opposed to wires and stuff. I mean, it's not that simple, but, you know, for the idea. So yeah, industrial update. So let's go ahead and go over to the other location we have here that hopefully sheds some more light on the situation. We can show you some more examples, and hopefully things start to make sense. I've seen a lot of different stuff back and forth. It's very, very neat, the industrial update, but I can see some of the people's concerns. So let's go ahead and walk through some of this. Well, first, let me just show you this real quick. So I don't know if you guys have seen this where people take the wire tool and then put it across the doorway so it creates this like pass-through. You can do the same thing with pipes. Kind of neat. Kind of neat, dude. Okay, so let's go over to probably one of the bigger concerns I think people have. Well, other than a TC, but we'll hit that here in a second. Over here, oh, did somebody pick those up? Yep, they most certainly did. All right, well, there was a pipe tool to show that you can connect these. You can actually put the storage, not monitor, storage adapter. I keep wanting to call it a monitor. You can actually put that on the large furnace and the refinery. It's currently broken, so I couldn't show you. I did have a sample here, but it looks like some troll came by and just picked up the boxes. But you can actually have things go into the large furnace and then back out. I think that's way cool, but then somebody brought up the point like, hey, it's going to make compound jumping kind of irrelevant. And I get that because the large furnace is supposed to be outside for a reason. It creates that high risk, high reward. You have a more efficient furnace, but you're more exposed. That's the same idea like on the map, right? Like where, you know, people have to go outside to the points of interest to get the loot that they want. And also the risk of running into other players goes up with that. Okay, so let's go over to this other piece here. The TC. So imagine this door isn't here. Imagine this is your tool cupboard. And yes, you can put one of the storage adapters on the tool cupboard. That's pretty sick, right? You can take the materials from a box and pass it to the TC. And moreover, you can increase the building size. Like think of these as sockets where you can just inject more types of material. So as long as this is topped off all the time, this socket right here can always be pumped with however many slots this is. And, you know, so on and so forth. Like you can do even more with like different materials because you have stone, metal, and all that stuff. So pretty OP. I can see that for Zergs being a little crazy, but also think about this for a second. Things are scaled here. So when your base gets larger, your upkeep goes up with it, and it increases exponentially. So I think the more you make this larger, the more you're going to be dumping in here. So I still think it's going to be advantageous for people, if this does stick around, for us to actually have multi-TCs and have them around, or even smaller bases. You've heard me sing the praises of that for a very long time, where you just, you make smaller bases all over the place. It helps you a lot, especially if you're solo. Here's the other thing too, which RazorTube and I were talking about it at length. You can pass things through the wall. So if you have the, I can't say it on YouTube, but the type of bunker where you wreck yourself and spawn back in, think about this. Instead of having a drop box, you can have a TC pass through or just a loot pass through, and this little loot vacuum sucks it up and puts it inside. So you can make some crazy bunkers. What we're calling, I guess, other people might be calling it too, a smart bunker, where you can dump stuff inside. But like what we're thinking is, think about this. Let's say you have multiple boxes all over, right? Like walls, like bunkers. Think about this. If you had your electric system detect somebody, you could have all the loot shifted to another bunker at random. So once it detects somebody not authorized on the TC, you can literally take everything out of this bunker area and just shift it around. That's what we're calling a smart bunker. I don't know what other people are calling it, but it's pretty cool stuff. But yeah, I can see how some of the balance is a bit of a concern. But still, things are being worked out here, not only with stability, but also with what costs what's going to be where. So kind of on that note, you can place the storage monitor, which basically means things you can move items in and out of. You can put them on top of these little furnaces. You can put them on fridges, the drop box. Let's see, boxes, small boxes. These can be passed through, but these actually have, what's this thing called again? The industrial crafter that sits on top. And you'll have other pieces that kind of go along with that. But as long as you have that storage adapter, I keep wanting to call it a monitor, you can pass things in and out, and of course on the TC. But things could change, right? So, okay, let's kind of rewind here. Sorry, this is a bit scatterbrained, but I wanted to get this out because we've been dying to do this all weekend, but things were unstable. Somebody was talking, I can't remember who it was. I think it was William. I said, hey, this update's really cool, but can we always be passing things through walls with pipes? And I get that. And then I don't think he suggested it. RazorTube and I were talking about this. What about like a conduit system? And there is like a glitched conduit piece that actually comes out if you like place a flashlight somewhere. But anyways, I digress. So it would be kind of cool if somehow there was some sort of conduit that you put there that then makes like some sort of weakness in the wall where, it gives raiders a chance. But yeah, as far as balance is concerned, I can kind of see that concern. But also, having the ability to pass things through walls is also very, very useful. So I don't think they'll kill that completely. They might just put some more gameplay around it, make it more interesting. Kind of the way they did with turrets. Turrets were very OP to start, right? But then with electricity, you have a bigger footprint. You have to manage that resource. It makes things more interesting, especially for raiders and defenders. Anyways, I thought that was kind of an interesting point. Having these crazy bunkers or even a smart bunker that can pass loot could be pretty awesome in the beginning, but also could be a little game-breaking, especially once the Zergs catch on and they start doing it at a large scale. So it'll be interesting to see where that balances out. We'll definitely be out there playing this, streaming this. We do main over on the console side, but I mean, we've always mained on PC until the console version came out. So we'll definitely be out here kind of testing this stuff, showing you guys what's going on. And again, for the console people, I wouldn't worry about this until it pops up on our radar. I don't think this is anywhere close to us. I mean, we're still actually dealing with electricity, so I wouldn't sweat it. Okay, so let's see what else. Oh yeah, we have the electric furnace now. The electric furnace is a thing. You can smelt with power, and again, on that idea of balancing, this only costs 1 unit of power to smelt, which is pretty broken. I think it needs to be 10, 15, or maybe even 20, because it's so useful. You can automate things very easily here, and to make charcoal, you can just throw wood inside and then cook it that way. That's also an option. And as you saw out there earlier, you can put these inside of honeycomb as well. And it's a bit glitched right now, but you can place the storage adapters on the side. It's just a little broken right now. And to go on to the industrial crafter, which is very, very interesting. You can take these containers, connect them, and put them into this crafter. And what's really neat is you have to make a blueprint. You don't have to know it. You have to have the raw paper. And you put it here, and then the materials come in. You can do it manually, or it can come through the storage adapter along with a conveyor. but you can have things automated this way. And this is another reason why I think pipes will go through walls to some degree. Because think about this. If you've, okay, how many times have you been in like a group and someone's like, hey, I want an AK, I want to go learn it. And you're like, wow, that's really expensive. Why are you doing that? I can craft you one. But then sometimes the dude, the BP master, isn't online. So what do? Well, you have this industrial crafter with the AK inside. The AK blueprint, excuse me, and then you can have a switch, a button, automate it so it cranks it out here and then spits it out through a wall in like a dispense box. It could just spit up on the bench if you trust them. It could do lots of different things. Like you can have the output come over to this box like right here and just be like, there's your AK. And so you can almost make like a little vending machine service where if something comes in or out, oh wait, maybe these are here and the tubes are just not showing up. But you know, it'd be like a vending machine where it takes the request, takes those materials, crafts the item, and then spits it out. You can put it inside of vending machines in the same way. You can do it internally inside of your base. There's lots of options. So it makes things very, very interesting. And also, like I said before, if your BP guy is not online, it's a cool way to be cranking some of those other BPs. And let's be real. Like, if you're solo, duo, or even like that small group, it's so dope that you can automate some of this processing of materials because you can come back, dump your stuff off, and then go back out and farm or roam. So it puts you back outside of the base in some cases, and I can also say it puts you back inside, but it puts you back outside because all your stuff's being processing inside or being processed inside of the base. I mean, I can't tell you how many times people are out there having fun. I'm like, I can't. I'm crafting explosives. You know what I mean? It sucks. So like, this is a cool way to kind of offload some of that. And I think it's really going to help solos because you can go in there and then go back out and farm. You don't have to sit inside of your base necessarily to wait for all that stuff to cook, so you can be out there and see what's happening. So yeah, very interesting. Let's see. I feel like there's one more piece here we're missing. Oh yeah. So another thing too with the pipes and all this. So how many times you've been into a base and you walk in, you're like, I got to go through 52 doors before we get to the inside. But like that's what protects your base. But it cuts off on time, especially when you have garage doors. So what if you had a drop box here and then you had a sort system go through your base and then sorted the materials and put them in your core based off of value. So like on your inner core, you have all the really good stuff like components, and it would just sort it. You could dump the box, all of your stuff in the box, and go back out and farm some more, where you're running components and it comes back here and sorts it. And that is possible. We have done that. So like I said, a lot of really cool opportunities for gameplay here. I'm interested to see what type of balance they bring into all of this. And again, they definitely haven't done that balance pass quite yet, or they haven't done another one. So it'll be interesting to see how all of this shakes out. But to all those people that are kind of concerned, let me go ahead and leave you with this final thought here. So Rust has been out for almost a decade now, and it's going into its 10th year now. And it's had lots of changes, but one thing's for sure, they keep tweaking it until it's right or until it's balanced. And for those of you that don't like all this extra stuff like teams, you know, maps, and even all this automation, there is the hardcore mode on the PC right now, and I'm sure that's coming for us on the console side. So like, there's different experiences for different things, and it gives you lots of options. So I'm excited for this. I think you guys should be excited for this. I think the more negative comments, I think, or constructive criticism, I think we can throw in there the constructive criticism now, but like more so like when this is released on the first patch on February. Wait for that, and then we can start to throw in like, okay, how does this feel for all the player base on like official servers and stuff? And then they can start to make adjustments, and they always have. Shoot, how many different BP systems did we have back in the day? How many, right? So many. Remember the fragments? Remember the it was almost like an infection thing where like you crafted a tool, and then if somebody used that tool, it'd give you XP. I mean, they went through many iterations, and I don't think this will be any different. Like, if there's something that's out of whack here, I think they'll make the adjustment, or they'll add gameplay around it like they did with turrets and stuff. So either way, I'm very excited for this. I think it's going to add a lot of exciting opportunities and really cool gameplay for everybody, the small groups and the big boys. So I'm anxious to see this, and hopefully you guys join us over on the live stream. I will see you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye! I'm going to lock myself in the tool cupboard. Ugh.